Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Francy and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. If you are here for the first time, welcome to the family, and if you found your way back, welcome back. If you have not already, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help to move me along. We are pushing towards 400 subscribers. You guys have been doing incredible. I have a goal to get to 500 subscribers by the time we get to my birthday in May. This is possible, and every subscription helps, so please do if you can. And on your way down to the subscription, please do hit that notification bell, ding, so that you can be informed each and every time I upload a new video. Today we are going to do another reading vlog, and this is going to be another one of those weekly kind of wrap deals. You guys, I tried to do the standard reading vlog thing last week and it just didn't work out for me, but these things do work, so we'll just continue on in this fashion. Now, if you weren't aware, I am hosting my very own and very first own readathon this month called the Cozy It Up with Mr. Francy Readathon, where we have a nice little bingo card. I actually have a copy of it right here, of 9 prompts that you can fill out in any which way that works for you. And this is going all throughout the month of February, all to do with cozy mysteries. So in today's reading vlog, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the first 2 books that I've completed for this readathon and the third one that I have started. So let's begin. The first book that I read this week was this book, Glazed Murder by Jessica Beck. Jessica Beck is a pseudonym for a male author named Tim Myers. So this is book 1 in the Donut Shop Mystery series, and I am reading this, or I read this book for the Cozy with Food on the Cover prompt for my readathon. Now in this book, book 1, Glazed Murder, we follow Suzanne Hart, who runs a donut shop called Donut Hearts in April Springs, North Carolina. Now we get a little bit of background on Suzanne. Somewhere in the beginning of the book, she has left her husband, I believe, and ended up opening up this shop after she left him. And she loves working in this donut shop, which is wonderful. I was so excited coming into this book because I thought, what a great way to read a culinary food cozy than to have one that's set in a donut shop. Unfortunately, this book just really did not work for me, and I'll explain why. For me, I love cozy mysteries where we have 50% of the cozy mystery book being a cozy, comfortable, fun read, and the other 50% is the murder investigation done by the amateur sleuth. For me, I felt like 85 to 90% of this book was murder investigation, and we only had about 10% cozy culinary feel, and I just did not enjoy that. In fact, this is definitely not a spoiler. In sentence 2, we find out, sentence 2 of this book, paragraph 1, we find out that the murder has already taken place. It's happened before the book's even begun. And for book 1, that was a little bit unsettling for me. I did think, okay, at least the murder is out the way and we'll have more time for the cozy, culinary, in this case, side of the book, but that just didn't seem to happen. Jessica Beck, Tim Myers, seemed to spend most of his time dealing more with the murder side of things, and I just felt like there were a lot of opportunities that were missed for me. Generally speaking, I do like to give more than one cozy mystery book in a series a go to see if I like it or not, but I don't think I'm going to continue on with this one. I think 85 to 90% of this cozy being the murder investigation was just too much for me, and so I just don't think that this series is going to be for me, but I'm glad I read it, and I got to tick it off for, as I said, the Cozy with Food on the Cover prompt for my readathon. So let's talk about the next book that I read, and that was a book that I buddy read, and this was so much fun, you guys, a massive turnaround from Glazed Murder, and that was this book, Death in Castle Dark by Veronica Bond. Now, this is book 1 in the A Dinner and Murder Mystery series, and I read this book for the Cozy by an Author You've Never Read prompt. In this book, we follow our main character, whose name is Nora Blake. Now, Nora ends up getting a job working as an actor in a murder mystery castle called Castle Dark. Now, in one of her performances, one of her fellow thespians is killed, and we need to try and work out who the murderer is. You guys, I gave Glazed Murder 2 stars. I gave Death in Castle Dark 4.5 stars. It was so good. I loved pretty much everything about this book. And so I'm going to just jump to the negative first. What I didn't like was the remainder of the book after we had the reveal of who the killer was. I just felt that, I don't know, it just went on a little bit longer than was necessary, and that's just my own personal taste, and so I docked a 0.5 for that, but I enjoyed the rest of it so much. So as I said, we are following a woman by the name of Nora Blake, who ends up auditioning for this theatre company that is run in a castle, an actual castle named Castle Dark, and her job would be to be an actor, to act the role of a character who's part of a made-up murder mystery. And all of the customers that come into Castle Dark get to take on the role of being their own amateur sleuths and trying to work out this made-up mystery story. And that just really intrigued me so much. I used to dabble in acting back when I was in high school, and I had a lot of fun with it. So reading this book brought back a lot of memories for me, and I just enjoyed myself so much along the way. I also really enjoyed learning more about the castle. There is so much to this castle. There is so much more than meets the eye. And the only thing that kind of is letting me down now is that I've read it and I need to wait for book 2 because book 1 was only just released recently. So Veronica Bond, please get on to book number 2 because I'm so there when it does come out. Look, I highly recommend this one. While there is a murder mystery that does take place, it's the case with every cozy, this one was definitely a lot more cozy than the first book I read, than Glazed Murder. So I do recommend it on that level. If you like acting, or if you like the idea of, well, the setting being at a castle, or having the setting be at a castle where you have these amateur actors playing characters in this type of like dinner theatre murder mystery type deal, then I think you will love this. Originally, I was scheduled to buddy read this with my dear friend Tiffany from booktube channel The Beach Bum Bookworm. Definitely check her out. She's a whole lot of fun. But then a lot of other readers joined us in this buddy read, and we all just seemed to have so much fun with this book. So I definitely highly recommend it, and I'm so excited for whenever book number 2 does hit the shelves. 4.5 stars from me. So I then had enough time to pick up one more book, and I'm not done with this one yet, but I'm pretty far in. So the next book that I picked up was this book, Death by Chocolate Cherry Cheesecake by Sarah Graves. This is book 1 in the Death by Chocolate series, and I am reading this book for my culinary cozy prompt for my Cozied Up with Mr. Francy. I am currently there, which is 173 pages in. I'm up to chapter 9, and, well, it's okay. I'm glad it's okay because the next book that I plan to read after this one is actually book number 2, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But, yeah, it's okay. I think it's around about a 3.5 stars for me. So in this book, we are following our main character whose name is Jake Tiptree. The premise of the book is that Jake and her business partner Ellie White run a chocolate-themed bakery called Moose. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the book, Miss Hannigan, who is someone who works nearby, phoned Jake to let her know that someone had been murdered in her store. So, again, just like with Glazed Murder, the murder happens incredibly early on in this book. For me, I feel like the sweet spot definitely comes back to Jacqueline Frost. Last year, I read this book, 12 Slaves of Christmas. Jacqueline Frost is a pseudonym name for Julie Ann Lindsay. The murder in each of the books for this series, the Christmas Tree Farm series, takes place at the end of chapter 1. It's a real sweet spot right there because you have enough time throughout the course of chapter 1 to get to know your main character and get to know the setting and the people that surround them, and then we end the first chapter with that murder. I do feel that the murder in this book very much reminded me of Glazed Murder in that it came up way too soon. I mean, we're literally finding out about the murder in paragraph 1. when Jake is saying, something along the lines of, don't quote me, but I was having a normal day. I didn't expect to find a dead body on the floor of my store, and this is in paragraph 1. So for me, I kind of think of these more as a mystery with the subgenre being cozy rather than a cozy with a subgenre being mystery, but it's been okay. I do wish that there were more culinary aspects. While we do get to know Jake and her business partner and a whole other myriad of characters who are all very interesting in their own way, and while we do get to see them cook here and there, and while there is a demand for 12 chocolate cherry cheesecakes because there is a 4th of July celebration coming up, so I did appreciate that, I just felt that it would be great if we'd had more time in the kitchen and more time cooking, so we'll see how we go. One thing I really did appreciate about this book though, and I'm just remembering it now, but I have to bring it up before I let you guys go, and that is that Jake is already married in this book, which makes me so happy because there seems to be a running theme with cozies where, I don't want to spoil for you guys, but I'll just say this. A number of cozies that I've read, the protagonist ends up with a detective or a cop that's trying to work out the case, and it's just getting to me how it just seems to be the same thing. And every time I meet the police chief or the head detective in charge or whatever it is, I just keep thinking, oh yeah, you're going to be the love interest because that's what always happens. Jake is already married. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sarah Graves. So now I don't have to think about that. She's already got a husband. That relationship is locked down, they're married, they're good, we can move on, which makes me really, really happy. So let's move on to what I'm going to be reading for the next 7 days of my Cozy It Up with Mr. Francy readathon. Obviously, my first plan is to finish off this book. Once I have finished Death by Chocolate Cherry Cheesecake, oh, before I tell you when I move on, so just once again I want to remind you, for Death by Chocolate Cherry Cheesecake, I'm reading this as my culinary cozy for the Mr. Francy, Cozy It Up with Mr. Francy readathon. Once I finish that one, I will pick up book number 2, Death by, oh gosh, this is so glossy, Death by Chocolate Malted Milkshake. I'm sorry to hold it at such a precarious angle because this is a library book. It's so glossy that it just makes it a nightmare to hold it up in front of the camera. So there we go. I hope that works. So this is book number 2. Now I have to give a special shout out to Cozy Row from Killing Time with Cozies, who alerted me to the fact that a wedding takes place in this book, which makes it wonderful because I'm going to be reading this book for my second scavenger hunt pick for the Killing Time with Cozies group, which is a book with a wedding theme. Now, I mentioned earlier Glazed Murder. That book has a skull on the cover. Let's just quickly put it back up on the screen, shall we? There it is. If you look hard enough, you'll see the skull. I looked at this cover for quite a while and never saw the skull, so I was glad when I was eventually advised, again by Cozy Row, that there is a skull on this cover. That was the other prompt for the scavenger hunt pick. So if you read a cozy that either has a skull on the cover or has a wedding theme, or 2 books that deal with both of those prompts, you too can take part in that scavenger hunt pick for the month of February for Killing Time with Cozies. So they have a wonderful Discord, and if you would like information for that, please comment below and let me know, and I will get you set up with them. The ladies over there at Killing Time with Cozies are amazing. They make my day each and every single day, so thank you, ladies. After I've read Death with Chocolate Malted Milkshake, you guys, I'm so happy. Happy dance, happy dance, happy, 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 happy. Because the next book that I'm going to read is this book, which is Premeditated Peppermint by Amanda Flower. This is book number 3 in the Amish Candy Shop series. You guys, I read this lovely book, which has arrived finally. Woo! I have a physical copy. Hello! A Salted Caramel last month in January, and I absolutely loved it. This is book number 1 in the, this is yeah, either way. This is book number 1 in the Amish Candy Shop series. I also read book number 2, which I'm trying to remember what it was called, Lethal Licorice, which is on the way. And now I'm going to read book number 3, which, as I've already said, is Premeditated Peppermint. So book number 3 in the Amish Candy Shop series, and this will cover my prompt for Cozy on audiobook with the Cozied Up with Mr. Francy readathon. Now, I'm sure you guys, if you've been keeping up with my TBR, my reading vlogs, you're wondering, Mr. Francy, sorry to interrupt the flow there, but you're missing a book. There was a book you started, there was a book you spoke about on your TBR that you started, that you spoke about on your podcast, and I'm not seeing it here. What's going on? No, my dear friends, your ears did not deceive you. I did pick up a book, and I'll put it up on the screen. It is this book, The Secret Book and Scone Society, which is book number 1 in the Secret Book and Scone Society by Ellery Adams. Now, what I've decided to do with this book is I've decided to shelve it in place of this book, Premeditated Peppermint, because while I thought that the Secret Book and Scone Society was okay, since shelving it, I shelved it to read Death in Castle Dark. I haven't really been that excited to get back to it yet. But I have been informed that Ellery Adams has written a baking bakery cozy mystery series. So if you guys can let me know what book 1 is in the comments below, then I will try and get onto that series instead very, very, very soon. But extremely excited to get on to Premeditated Peppermint. Yeah, another Amish candy shop. You guys, I'm so excited. But anyway, that does take care of my week. Now, very quickly, I just want to say thank you to everyone who showed up for my reading sprint with Mr. Francy. I did my very first reading sprint for 2022 on my time. It was Sunday morning, but it was also Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Eastern US time, as we're called Golden Girls time. And we had a whole lot of fun. I was over there with my lovely co-hosts, Tiffany from the Beach Bum Bookworm, who I alluded to earlier, and the wonderful Stormy from Storm Reads. Please check out their channels. They are wonderful. I am hoping to do this each and every week. So if you are available on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern American time, then please come along and join me, because we had a whole lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who came along and supported it. You guys were just so wonderful. I had so much fun. To everyone who's enjoying my podcast, thank you for your support as well. The podcast usually goes up every Friday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you have a question for me that you'd like for me to bring up in the podcast, then please ask that over on my Discord. Link to my Discord is in the description below. I have a channel there called the Mr. Francy Podcast, where you can ask all the questions or leave comments or thoughts or whatever that I bring up on my podcast. But I've had a lot of fun with that as well. You guys just have been so amazing. I've been blown away by the amount of support that I've received lately, and the fact that we are inching closer to 400 subscribers makes that 500 subscriber goal just seem like so much more of a reality. I didn't think I would get to this stage, let alone have that vision of potentially getting to 500. So thank you very much. That is my goal at the moment. So if you have not subscribed to this channel and you want to get those notifications for the reading sprints or the podcast or any other videos that I do post, then please do so. Every subscription counts towards getting me towards that goal. So thank you if you already have, and thank you if you are going to do so at the conclusion of this video. Very much appreciated. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you guys go with peace, blessings, and so much love. What was your favorite book that you read in the first week of February? Let me know that as well. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Please be kind and love one another. And of course, as I always say, happy reading!